I put the dipstick in with the shield. Unfortunately, this dipstick didn't line up with that. Can't really see through here. It didn't line up with the groove in the shield. That's okay because it fit in front of it. It tucks in so close, it fit in front of it. The shield. And you can see the groove there. But yeah, it's hard to see in there. You can see better down here. See the groove that dipstick's supposed to go up into is right there. But it fits over here, but it fits right in front of it. It goes right through the transmission and the shield. There's plenty of room. It tucks in. I tell you what, that dipstick fit really good. I'm glad it fits that good because I was either going to have to cut the tab, which I don't know if it was going to let me do that or not because there's this big hump on the back of the transmission right up here. I don't think I'd have got farther over. See that hump right there to hit that? And then I would have had to cut the shield. But then I got to looking, and it fit right in front of it. And this one uses the grommet, so it's the smooth kind. It don't have the O-rings. And it went all the way down in there. A little bit of Vaseline and whoop, slid right down. So I already tightened the bolts on that side. Just tighten the bolts on this side and that part's done. Woo woo. That wound up being a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Alright, went ahead and put the transmission lines on while the transmission's hanging. This makes it way easier. The dipstick tubes in there. Nice and good. Now we can go ahead and jack it up. See about lining our holes up to re-drill the cross member. Well, I forgot. I need to put the shifter in first. And to do that, I got to get some longer transmission bolts with some washers. So luckily I went now because they were closing at 1 and I walked right out the door at 1. Plus the cotter pin that we had for that shifter, it was broke. See, half of it's broke, so we're just using 1/2 of it. So there's another cotter pin in there too. Actually, there's 2 of them, just to make sure I got the right size. All right, there we go. Put this in neutral, pushed it all the way forward, reverse, neutral. I put the shifter in the car in neutral. That was the only bolt holes it would line up with. So I put the longer bolts in, put a washer on it, tighten those up. It was just a hair off. That's what he was using before, the middle one. It was just a hair off. So I loosened this one, tightened this one some until the hole lined up. And I stuck it through. And I put the new cotter pin in. All fits perfect. And then I tighten these bolts up. Now I'll run it through the gears. I'm gonna put it in park to see what it looks like, and then put it in low gear and see what it looks like. Also needed longer bolts for that. I got them a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's all they had. I wanted 1 1¼ They had 1½, but that's fine. That can stick out the top. All right, let's cycle it through the gears. Well, there's what would be first gear. This is reversed valve body, so that would be third. And everything looks good there. Everything's nice and clear. Let's try first. So I ran it through the gears a few times. Everything felt really good. And that's park. Everything clears just fine. Cotter pin's doing good. That's it. Now we can jack it up. start drilling our holes for our cross member. So what y'all want to do when you put these torque converter bolts in, we're going to go ahead and put the torque converter bolts in, is you measure that gap, which I've got almost 1/4 of an inch. So you want a 1/16 to 3/16. So what I'll do is I'll put a washer in between there to take up a 1/16. Austin, blow the head gasket. See, smoking.
No, that's just not.
Man, a pull on the highway, blow the head gasket.
It didn't last long.
He brought it over. He's gonna help me work on the car. So he helped me put the torque converter bolts in, and we went and got some Loctite for the converter bolts. Made a pull on the highway, blow the head gasket. So.
Until it did, but.
Yeah, ran good, shifts good. Blow the head gasket. They have the LS9 head gaskets and the ARP bolts, but he had just put on there.
Huh?
I said, you just had to put all that on there too, didn't you?
I don't understand it. It is what it is.
Yeah. So he rented me a little 30 by 30. He's going to take it home, work on it there. We're going to pull it with the Sierra. I call it a Silverado all the time too, dude. It's my truck and I still call it a Silverado.
No forwards on it. I need to back it up a little bit, really.
The Sierra.
I need to back it up a little bit.
Y'all ever saw a Sierra with Z71 Harley Davidson on it? I bet they put those on there. What, scoot the car back?
I need to see how squatted it is. But it'll be alright.
They ain't gonna bother it none. Oh yeah, it takes some tongue weight off of it. Be alright.
Yeah, we ain't going far, so.
Well, we got the converter bolts in. The only thing left on the Trans Am is to drill the holes for the cross member and put the starter in and then run a power block. And that's pretty much it on it. It's too cold, man. I got tired of working on it. It's too cold. But yeah. Alright, so back out here working on the Trans Am again. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the starter in. But they need to figure out, I think I'm going to put that power block right there. And then the starter wire, I can run right through those two primaries. It'll come up right there. And it shouldn't, if I straddle those just right. And I mean, I can even stick it through this piece here. I don't know if it'll fit through that. That's the thing though. But yeah, I'm gonna figure out the best way to route that. I'm gonna do the cross member last. Kind of dreading that because my drill bits suck. But yeah, I'm gonna think about this for a little bit. Let me see where the power block is. So yeah, the power block can go. That'd probably be the perfect place for it, right there. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. All right. Went ahead and put the catch can in. Starter's in. And there's plenty of clearance between the converter. I did use a couple of washers up top. They weren't needed. Got longer bolts. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the drive shaft in. I got it sitting up in there. I just gotta crawl under there. Put the U-bolts in. Then I'll do some measuring over here, and I'm gonna try to make sure I get it even from here to here on both sides, and then start drilling holes. All right, I'm trying to drill 2 holes like here, back here. I used a small bit and then a bigger bit. I'm using these step bits, but obviously don't know how to drill very good because I've dulled every bit I've got. So this isn't an easy process. I'm gonna try to sharpen these step bits. I guess you can kind of sharpen them through there. Yeah, that one's beat up pretty bad. I think these are more for sheet metal than this thick steel. It's pretty thick. Yeah. It's not easy going, but yeah, you have to be able to put the washer and the bolt, or the washer and the nut up through here and tighten it up on the top part. It doesn't come all the way down. Plus, trying to drill, even if you put the bolt needs to go through the top, because if the nut comes off, the bolt will fall out. That ain't good. At least if the bolt's in the top and the nut falls off, the bolt's still there to kind of hold it. So yeah, you never get a bolt in through the top that would come all the way down here, so you have to drill this bigger hole to fit the nut in the washer. But not an easy process. Not easy at all with the stuff I have. I don't know if a hole saw would go through that, or I don't know. Thinking about getting a die grinder with some of them carbide tips on it, because I tell you what, that little bitty carbide tip on my Dremel, man, it goes through that easy. But my chuck come loose and it shot across the room, and now I don't know where it went. So I'm gonna go get some hole saws and see if I can drill that hole a little bit easier. But I'm not gonna bore y'all with that whole drilling process. Once I get all that in there, then I'll make a video over putting the wire block in and putting the relay in for the trans brake, and then hopefully we can get a video of that testing the transmission. But it's gonna be cold this weekend. I ain't gonna be working on it this weekend. Y'all have a great day.